próximo ao Dax, Sabão. Primeiro toque na bola acabou deixando ela por aqui.
Oh, wait, hang on a sec. Don't worry, I've got this. Yeah, just focus, mate. Yeah, 1 sec. I've got this under control. Fam, come on, we've got places to be. Nah, trust me, don't. Hang on, babe, please. Why are you doing this to yourself? Why does he have his phone out on the pitch? Look, I swear, look, don't worry about it. It's been 3 whole days. Yo guys, it's your boy Niran here, and you are watching FTW. This, of course, is the series where I bring to you the best and more frequently the worst of what football has to offer during the last 7 days. Now, what's been kicking off in the world this week? Well, YouTube boxing was once again the talk of the town, as Deji looked for redemption versus the US's Alex Wasabi, but then didn't punch anything. Realistically, that was the least of this event's concerns, with more headbutts than a Zinedine Zidane scrapbook collection, invaders into the ring during the main event, Nico Milana seems to have turned into Jordan Pickford here.
Whoever put shit through my letterbox, I'm gonna smash your head.
One fighter dressed as a middle finger, it's a shambles, mate. Theo Baker, you've got blood on your hands. On to the football though now, and this week witnessed the Manchester Derby. I'll cut to the chase, lads. It went exactly how you thought it would. 4-1 the final score to Man City here. Cristiano Ronaldo was not asked for this one in the slightest. He left his alarm off, rolled over, saw the score, and said absolutely not. Edinson Cavani didn't take well to being asked to play over 23 minutes of football.
Don't look at me like I owe you anything.
United actually gave City a game in the first half, with Jadon Sancho scoring against his former side, but it all went wrong in the second. There were less punches thrown from them than Deji Olatunji. There was a 15-minute spell in this one where they had 8% possession. Romelu Lukaku managed more against Crystal Palace. I reckon the physios had at least 6%. It gives a whole new meaning to the class of 92, this one. Now, the second goal was comical. Victor Lindelof definitely at fault for stepping out and trying to stop Phil Foden. But Harry Maguire, why are you stepping over the ball in your own 6-yard box? You don't do step overs normally, so why do them here? The man plays football like he's on 1 bar connection. He's not a fridge. He's not that serious enough of an appliance. He is a carrot sharpener. How are you going to be in team of the season for the opposition? But maybe he's just not being played to his strengths, okay? What about making him a striker?
Come on, you fat slug! Oh, you fucking... Oh, you fucking... Oh, you fucking...
Okay, alright, maybe not a striker, but maybe a midfielder. A nice delicate pass needed here into Maguire.
Have it.
Forget it, mate. He's got more girls chirps than goals prevented this season. And look, the answer's one, babe. You're the only one for me. Aaron Wan-Bissaka got bodied by a literal infant. On the other side, and Alex Tellez's 3 brain cells were having trouble marking Kevin De Bruyne. It's a mess. Everyone there is a complete shambles.
Manchester United.
And who's your favourite player?
None of them. They're all rubbish.
And imagine Bruno Fernandes turning up in a game that's not against 39-year-old uncles at a barbecue. Ralph Rangnick, don't think I haven't forgotten about your senile self. He was doing no teaching to other managers. Jurgen Klopp, Thomas Tuchel and co were homeschooled. Nobody's scared of your goggle-pressing tactics. Well, apart from Pep Guardiola in his inevitable post-match interview. Hand on heart, this is the most complete, legendary and dangerous side I have ever come across.
Get him out of there, like, why is he in there?
The referee in this one came closer to a second half goal than United did. Meanwhile, Micah Richards was letting out his inner City fan right next to Roy Keane.
I might smash into somebody just to make me feel better.
In the Champions League now, and it's Farmers reborn and reloaded for French football, as Paris Saint-Germain bottled a 2-goal aggregate lead to be dumped out of the round of 16 3-2 by Real Madrid. This was absolutely extraordinary. After a critical Gianluigi Donnarumma mistake got Real back into the game, 2 goals in the space of a minute for Real turned the entire tie on its head. There's no wheeze and no bonds in the entire place. This is what you get when you're playing against patisseries every week. Look, take the money off PSG now. I've had enough. They've had their chance. Give the money to some other random French team like Clermont Foot or something and let them have a go. Like, there's no leadership at all. Thiago Copper over here completely fell apart. At least Kylian Mbappe will be pleased at full time. He actually even received a pretty good reception when his name was read out at the Bernabeu. Killian, obviously disappointing to go out the way that you did. Is there a reason why you're... Oh, this! Oh, no, don't worry. No, I just swapped shirts, you see, obviously at full time. Is that a contract in your hand? Oh, no, I was just signing someone's autograph, obviously. It's another disappointing day at the office for Maurizio Pochettino. Gonna be even more depressing for him in the morning when he sees Manchester United's email in his inbox. Lionel Messi was pretty much non-existent during the entire tie, but maybe it's for the best anyway, man. Neymar's sister's birthday is coming up soon. We all know how that ends. But the hero of the hour in this situation, easily Karim Benzema. Pass me the ball, I'm literally on your team. Meanwhile, David Alaba was loving life in the background for that one. Staying in Europe, and Liverpool are through to the quarterfinals after a 2-1 aggregate win against Inter, but they did lose on the night. And Lautaro Martinez screamer gave Inter hope, within 1 goal and ready to complete a comeback. It turns out the referee found his contact lenses at half-time, because after this challenge almost went completely unpunished in the first half. He gave a pretty soft second yellow. I think it balances out overall, but he deserves it for running an Instagram account for his dog, so. In the aftermath, an Inter's assistant was sent off too. Simone Inzaghi here was looking like an older brother who got his younger sibling into trouble. What are you playing at? You're misbehaving. I'm paying you to go to school and learn. Don't pay for my education. Yinka, I'm getting the belt. Yeah, Mo Salah decided he'd rather hit the post than scoring goals today. Can't wait for his next job announcement. Interesting choice of Champions League promo for him before this round began. He's got about 9 abdomens more than the normal man. So in actuality, the scoreline is looking very different. Arturo Vidal put in a crazy performance in this one. The guy was everywhere. Everything in his life depends on. He's jumping into challenges 73 yards from goal in the 6th minute. So we do need to have an age cap on Mohawks. You've got a family at home, fam. Come on. Bayern showed no remorse, dumping Red Bull Salzburg out of the Champions League with a 7-1 win. So there is a third leg, right? Bayern chose the Arsenal approach here for Salzburg.
I said this was going to happen. I said we were going to capitulate.
They saw a team in red and white and thought it was the Gunners. It's the only explanation. 7-1, you know, in the big old Champions League knockouts. And the thing is, they did so well in the first leg as well. You gotta feel bad for them. Back in the Premier League, and relegation is now a serious possibility for Frank Lampard's Everton after being dismantled by Tottenham. You've been slapped by a team with fans doing this.
Go on, comment, stitch, duet. If it backfires, that's on me. But right now, one of the best in the business here. Let's win out the trophy.
Harry Kane put on an attacking masterclass in this one and did his part, beating a side with Gylfi on the books.
For the year 3s! No.
This Everton team is honestly entirely useless. Michael Keane and Mason Holgate do not have the combined storage for the Premier League level. They're a PS2 memory card between them at best. Jordan Pickford was poor for the second goal. His opposite number, Hugo Lloris, walked Dele over to the Tottenham faithful for a final send-off. Please, lads, take me back. I'm begging you. Frank Lampard doesn't seem to be helping the situation here. Tottenham were chanting that he's a shit Steven Gerrard, and he just looks devoid of all ideas here. All right, Frank, what's the plan here? I mean, if you fancy getting a goal. Christian Romero laid out Richarlison and then posted this picture of him on Insta. It's a shithousery award for the Argentinian. Apparently Everton have found a new alternate method for repayment of some of their debt. Yeah, championship parachute payments, mate. They're going to be playing in a new stadium welcoming Blackpool Pleasure Beach Football Club. At Arsenal, and they caused incredible problems for themselves, but did put together beautiful goals to put Watford to the sword in the league. The best goal in this one, though, was our first goal of the week from Cucho Hernandez.
Oh, that's wonderful! Some goal, Cucho Hernandez!
Watford manager Roy Hodgson was in awe. Bloody hell, who scored that goal? Roy, he plays for you, son. Thomas Partey still trying to score screamers. Who's even still calling for him to shoot? It has to be opposition fans, otherwise we've got to arrest people for wasting police time. Alexander Lacazette was warming up and ready to put his next shot 19 yards wide. And Arsenal now are in the top 4 with 3 games in hand. Champions League football is genuinely in their grasp. They just have to not bottle it. Arsenal, please, I'm begging you here. Over at West Ham versus Liverpool, and Reds fans brought a massive cat face to the game. Kurt Zouma is really struggling out here. I mean, all he had to do was not volley a cat, to be fair, so. Meanwhile, at Brentford versus Norwich, and after a coming together, Brandon Williams was ready to scrap. until he realised who'd pulled him down. This man had seen the negative press flash before his eyes. United loney villain Brandon Williams viciously and violently attacks man who had heart attack before stealing food supplies from orphanage. One Football Manager player decided to sign Jack Wilshere this week. 4 appearances later and he was out for 3 months. Jack himself saw the tweet and blamed it on mismanagement. Meanwhile, elsewhere, and apparently a Cristiano Ronaldo statue is losing some of its shine in the crotch area because people keep touching it. I mean, that's one kind of rubbing out, I suppose. This statue's got more action than he has in the Premier League this month. In Spain, when a ball landed in the crowd, this man knew he had a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity at memorabilia. Excuse me, sir, what are you trying to put in the bag? I don't know what you're talking about. There's nothing is going in. I can literally see. You'll try it. It's not going to fit in. There's nothing going in, sir, please. I'm telling you right now. There were scenes for Ligue 1 outfit Nantes, who progressed to the final of the Coupe de France. Fair to say their fans were loving it. Meanwhile, Sochaux goalkeeper Mehdi Janine has offered out his shirt as an apology to a fan that he hit in the face last weekend. This is very sweet, to be fair, I like it. He may have rearranged the supporter's face, but in Belgium now, we've got some disgraceful skill.
En dit, Jan. En dit, Jan. Kijk eens. Ja, daar moet hij wel mee oppassen.
At Vitesse versus Sparta Rotterdam, and this pitch invader is more of a pitch apologizer after being scared away by Sparta's goalkeeper. And on to our second goal of the week now that comes all the way from Peru. I'll be totally honest with you lads, not a huge amount of build up here other than it's an absolute humdinger. Anyone remember the name Leandro Damao? The guy was once a pretty big up-and-coming wonder kid in Brazil. He's currently playing his trade in Japan and caught out this goalkeeper in the final minute of the game to sneak up behind him and put the ball into an empty net. Meanwhile, and we've got a 5-a-side player who's decided he's bringing out a sue here with disastrous consequences.
In diretta all'ospedale di Cosenza.
My man got folded like a Nintendo DS. Hello all and welcome to The Beautiful Game, the segment where we take a look at the poetic and brilliant side of the game that we love. We are back by popular demand for yet more glorious beauty. Nice run. And that concludes The Beautiful Game. Closer to home and in Middlesbrough's defeat against Sheffield United, Borough fans were giving Ollie McBurney grief as he was warming up on the touchline, only for it to backfire pretty dramatically. We've got a linesman here who has absolutely massive feet. How are you going to be a linesman and your feet are offside? His toes arrive in the changing room 6 minutes before the rest of his body. Canada's under-20 women were dealt with pretty adverse pitch conditions here, practically having to paddleboard into the area. In Argentina, and after claiming the ball pretty calmly, one thing you don't want to do at any point is rush the throw and end up throwing it against the attack.
Buena esa de Victoria, ¿no? No, no dejaba. ¡Gol!
Oh, for crying out loud. Staying in Argentina, and one Boca Juniors player decided it would be acceptable to take a picture with a fan whose underwear he'd signed. Mo Salah's agent has just come up with a business proposition. It seems like Melbourne Victory have got a new mascot. What even is this series at this point? Can I just sack it off? Elsewhere, we've got a substitute giving his manager a heart attack here by trying to jump on him in celebrations. That's it. He's not starting for another 3 weeks now. Meanwhile, in Brazil, and after a referee decided to book someone for time wasting, when reversing back to take his position again, he didn't really look where he was going. Ah, what the hell, ref? Mate, I am the ref. Okay, you're not gonna get a foul.
Cidadão, aprender a conviver com a diferença é fundamental.
Oh yeah, that's mad. I did have a kid. I forgot about you. Now, there's an interesting story seemingly coming out of Norway right now, where Bodo Glimt in the Norwegian Cup asked the Norwegian FA to get a game rescheduled because it clashed with a tie for them in the European Conference League. Now, the Norwegian FA accepted this without talking to their opposition, who were currently going through a COVID crisis. Alsund, I think it's pronounced, ended up having to forfeit the game because they didn't have enough players. So I don't understand why Bodo Glimt could get the game rescheduled, but they couldn't. And now Now, I need to talk about this story, as wild as it is, because over in Mexico, there were violent and disgraceful scenes in a league game between Querétaro and Atlas. A mass brawl basically broke out and spilled out onto the pitch in this game, where Querétaro fans targeted anyone wearing an Atlas shirt, and it led to a mass amount of injuries. At least that's all that's been confirmed by the Mexican authorities. And with a major footballing tournament due to be played in Mexico soon, I think that's all they're willing to say, given how much that would jeopardize the entire World Cup there. The chances are the true details in this story have been covered up so far. First and foremost, wishing a speedy recovery to the Atlas supporters that were targeted here. But Querétaro are going to be forced to play behind closed doors for a year. Their supporters group has been banned for 3 years. Their owners have been banned for 5 and have been ordered to sell the club. And obviously the game was forfeited with Atlas winning. But if I'm going to be honest with you, those sanctions, like the scenes were absolutely, I've never seen anything like it before. I don't actually think playing behind closed doors for a year is enough. I know a lot of people were saying just like ban them from the league altogether, which maybe is a little bit harsh on the players, but it's the fans that have let themselves down here. And I genuinely think some kind of automatic relegation, whether it be to a Division 1 or 2, maybe even 3 tiers below, and honestly playing games behind closed doors for something like 3 or 4 years would be far more suitable. In America, and Charlotte made their MLS debut and broke the all-time MLS record attendance whilst they were at it, bringing 74,000 fans to their game. That's serious for the US as well, although they do still call it soccer, so we have to divide that number by 2, unfortunately. Over in Colombia, and VAR is working perfectly, given this decision was gotten wrong. And over in Brazil, we've got an absolute shambles of a goal here.
Por enquanto tá dando União. Olha o Neto. Opa, Neto. Olha o Neto. Se atrapalha ali o goleiro Neto. Chega ali, olha só. Olha o gol do União. Olha o gol do União. Gol!
It's been a difficult week for goalkeepers in Japan. We had one giving away a goal in the final minute earlier on, and we've got one going walkabouts here.
思い切った飛び出しシュート。ここも紙引くこと。さあ高い位置でボールを奪った。わあピアタイヤが戻る。紙引くこと。
Now this was only going to last for so long. He was sent off later in the game.
What is the goalkeeper doing? Why are you there?
In Brazil, we've got a mascot here giving it large after the opposition scored against his side. An official Champions League ball is being used in Nigeria. I can't help but feel this wasn't properly sanctioned. And elsewhere in the continent, you've got to be a brave man to be a linesman. Meanwhile, South America just loves to give us clips for FTW, and it's also produced easily the miss of the week this time.
O Everton passou, serve como opção, saiu sozinho na frente, pode ser o teu segundo, olha a chance que teve que perdeu.
Now though, it's time for Still 0-0, and you guys know the score by now. This is a segment of the show where I bring to you the best of Sunday League and amateur football. And we have got an absolutely golden story this time, because after winning a raffle on eBay, a Sunday League side from Shropshire won the chance to play alongside Roberto Carlos. Yes, Roberto Carlos, Brazilian and Real Madrid legend, was drafted into the local leagues of the county. And not only that, the manager didn't even start him for the game. Barn United in Shrewsbury decided to bench him in favour of a software engineer for this one, and he turned out to raise money for disadvantaged young people here and came on to even score a penalty late on. And after the game, what better way to celebrate a successful Sunday League debut than to FaceTime Sergio Ramos in the middle of a pub in Shrewsbury?
No.
On to the weird stuff though now. The girlfriend of an injured player had to be restrained during a Kenyan Premier League game after she tried to attack the player that had injured him with a rock from the stands. Over in Honduras, and after her team felt they'd been unfairly dealt with a penalty against them, the goalkeeper protested the decision by not moving from the centre of the goal, and then the team clapped the referee afterwards. In Cambodia, and if you win man of the match in their Premier Division, you earn yourself a Panasonic microwave.
The microwave.
And finally, finally, in Galatasaray's under-16 clash against Kazim Pasha under-16, they were ready to get their youth tie underway. That was until they realised the governing body and the two teams had forgotten to book a referee for the game. Eventually, an hour and a half later, after the referees had been chosen and had had time to travel to the game, the match was eventually kicked off. And those refs still had a better day at the office than the ones from the Carabao Cup final. That, though, is going to wrap up football this week, and I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, then feel free to slap a like on the video, and of course, subscribe if you're new to the channel. You can also follow me on social media. It is at officialfng on Twitter and on Insta. But it's been a pleasure ranting at you guys today. Have a wonderful day, enjoy yourselves, and goodbye.